Women Taking the Lead, episode 222.
My favorite mantra is "you are enough," because I feel that a lot of women, we try to be everything for everyone. And then when we make one mistake, how we mentioned earlier, we just take it to heart and then it changes the way that we feel about ourselves. And so one thing that I had to start doing was to think, you are enough. You can do this. You've got this. You are amazing.
Hello, my name is Jody Flynn and welcome to Women Taking the Lead, where we are all about creating blasts of inspiration to help you overcome self-doubt so you can lead with confidence, integrity, and a sense of humor. Head over to womentakingthelead.com to join the community and get the resources to support you on your leadership journey. Now, your future awaits, so let's get started. The world was not built for the self-employed. Many institutions that currently support the workforce are simply not keeping up with the pace of change needed to serve them. FreshBooks is among the innovators who have stepped up to provide a new solution for freelancers and small business owners in this rapidly changing market. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. I'm here with Rita Morales, who works with wellness entrepreneurs who want to take their online presence to the next level through authentic branding and creative websites that capture the personality of her clients. She is a firm believer that a pretty website is pretty useless without a strategy behind it to maximize sales and conversions. Rita empowers her clients by teaching them how to tame technology effectively through a hands-on approach with each client. Rita, you are speaking my language. I love that line, like pretty websites are pretty useless unless they do their job, which is to engage people and convert them. So I'm really excited to be chatting with you. But as you and I both know, that's a 10,000-foot version of who you are in the world. So if you could, tell us a little bit more about you personally and your own humble beginnings.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having me, Jody. I really appreciate it, and I'm so excited to get to know you and your audience better. So I started my business almost 3 years ago. I was working in corporate, and I was just definitely not happy. I had hit a, glass ceiling where I just felt like I wasn't going to get any higher. And prior to that, probably about 8 to 9 years ago, I started kind of learning how to make websites. And so during that time, after I started learning how to make websites, I ended up having 2 little boys. So I had my babies, and then I was still working in corporate, and I just felt like, oh, there has to be something else that I can do. There's definitely a way out for me. And I actually started listening to podcasts and reading blogs, and decided about 3 years ago, well, it was probably 4 years, because I spent a good year kind of learning and planning and plotting. What am I going to do? How am I going to make this happen? And then about 3 years ago, I decided, I'm going to go home. I'm going to talk to my husband and see if we can make this happen. And during that time, I had a few clients on the side while I was still working corporate, but my boys were still very young, and so I had very limited time. And so I felt like the only way for me to make this happen was to do something really big and very scary. And that was to pick up my family from Southern California and move back to Ohio so that I could start my business. And that's what I did.
Whoa, that is awesome. I love it. Yeah. I love when I hear somebody say, I had to do something really big and really scary. It gets my heart pumping. I'm like, awesome. It doesn't always have to look like that, but sometimes it does, and big and scary is relative to all of us. But I love that, Rita, and what you're doing in the world, and especially working with wellness entrepreneurs, because the sense I get from wellness entrepreneurs is they want to focus on their craft and they want to focus on the people that they're helping. And so taking care of the technology piece for them, I bet, is just a huge burden off of their shoulders to have someone like you in their world. And I can hear in your voice and from the chat we've been having that you're a lot happier now. You like the place where you are in the world. Like life is a lot better than when you were in your corporate job, like trying to figure out like how to get out of it. But I'm going to take you back to a moment in time. We start low and then we end high on this podcast. So we start with the playing small moment story. And playing small was inspired by the Marianne Williamson quote, where she talks about playing small and how that by letting your own light shine, you give others unconscious permission to do the same. You know, we're not put on this earth to play small. We're here to play big, to let who we are shine in the world. So if you could start us off there about a time in your life when you were playing small, tell us that story and the lessons you've learned.
Well, definitely. I think that for most new entrepreneurs, I think they initially start out very small. You know, and the reason why is because we're too busy comparing ourselves to everybody else. And I felt like that when I very first started. I knew how to build a website, but I really didn't know how to brand a website. And so this is how I can relate to my clients, because I understand how they feel. Like they have an idea of what they want their website or their brand to look like and how they want it to behave, but they really aren't sure how to get it there. And I was the same way. So imagine a designer who can't even design her own website. And I feel like it was because I was playing small. I was not really sure who I was at that time. You know, I had so much self-doubt, and I just wasn't really sure how to get out of it.
So tell us what you learned. What were the big lessons that you got from that experience?
I think the biggest lesson for me has always been that you can do it. And so you can slowly transition and change your mind into more of a powerful state. And you can actually bring yourself up higher than where you were when you initially started. It's going to take a little time, obviously, but, I think that the biggest lesson for me was, just because you didn't go to design school or you didn't do all of these things, that doesn't mean that you're not good at what you're doing. And so I feel like a lot of people get caught up in those, credentials and these trainings, and they feel like, well, I need this in order to be this. And I don't necessarily believe that that's the case unless it's, something obviously like medical or.
Right. If you need the degree to get the license and all of that. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
But you don't need, you don't need the coaching degree to coach, or you don't need to actually. I know a lot of the designers and developers who feel this way, that they feel a little inadequate because they don't have that same certification as maybe some others do.
Yeah. And you meet so many people who, yes, they went to college, but they're not in the field of the degree they earned while they were in college. They ended up pivoting anyway. And I agree with you. It's all a mental state. If you tell yourself you're not qualified because you don't have the degree, then the quality of your work is going to reflect your mental state. But if you tell yourself, yes, I can learn this, I can get better at this, with every, project, I get exponentially better. Like that will show in your work, because you'll be striving to improve the quality of your work. Our mindset is the driving force behind our actions.
I agree. And it's funny. I tell people all the time that if you have any mindset issues or any like really deep down problems, start your own business. All of this will come out and you will have to face it and you will be better for it. But it's very scary when you first start.
Yes. Entrepreneurship. I'm going to sound like a broken record to people who listen to all the podcasts, because I've said this several times. Entrepreneurship is the most robust personal development program you can ever put yourself through, because you're absolutely right. Every opportunity for improvement will rear its head. At every step of the journey. Yes. I was actually chatting with another guest earlier today where they're like, the universe just keeps sending me messages. So true.
And what are you learning from these messages?
Yeah. Like the next area of opportunity is always like right in front of your face. So funny, Rita. Yes. All right, Rita. Now share with us a time in your journey when you had a wake-up call. This could have been a flashbulb moment, an aha, or it could have been, something that over time you just kept getting hit with the same message, like go in this direction. But in either case, there's a moment when you're ready to take action. So what I would like you to do is share with us the steps that led up to that moment of action, and then the steps you took that led to your success.
Well, I think for me, the biggest wake-up call that I had was, back where I was talking about branding and the importance of building a brand for yourself. I feel like that to me was, once I figured out my brand, that was where I just kind of said, oh my gosh, like I'm finally awake. I have, I understand who I should be serving, what I should be making for them, what words I should be using to speak to them, and then what visual aesthetics I need to have on my website to make it appeal to them. And so all of these things came together, because prior to that I just kind of threw together a website, and I was too busy looking at other people and seeing what they were doing instead of looking at what I was really good at. Because when I was working in corporate, I was really good at managing projects and doing these things, and so I'm super organized and really into productivity, and because of that I'm able to streamline a lot of my processes, but that's not what I was putting out there initially. And so to me, the biggest aha was really learning how to brand myself and others in a way that really makes an impact.
Mm-hmm. Yes. What I often tell my clients is you already have everything you need within you. We just need to uncover it. We just need to get at it, because oftentimes the only thing that's keeping us from being successful is ourselves. Right. And like what we were talking about just a little bit ago was like our own headspace is what is holding us back. But once we can remove, kind of the negative thinking or the I can't do this, we can get clear on what are our strengths, what value do we bring, and then just go for it.
Exactly. Yeah. I like to, try to, I think, some people, they, obviously there's different people brand things in a different way. So some people like questionnaires. And what I found is when I would do their questionnaires to try to help me to understand my own brand, I was like, these are not really working. And so what I do with my clients is I ask them really probing questions and kind of help them work through it, because I don't think that a questionnaire is deep enough, because you just think of what you think other people want to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Doing that initial inquiry for anything that has to do with marketing is a lot like a coaching session. You're just, just going layer upon layer, deeper, asking like more, empowering questions, really getting people thinking and getting at the core of who they are, so that can be what the marketing is about.
Yes, and now I teach it and I do it with my clients, and I help them to understand that this right here is the foundation of your successful business. You can have this, this other business over here, but it might not be going in the way that you want it to go until you really get clear on your brand.
Mm-hmm. And now, Rita, what I want everyone to really get and embrace is there is no one way to lead. I mean, we can definitely look at the leaders we admire and look at the qualities that we want to emulate. But oftentimes I see people go wrong because they're trying to almost like robotically copy another leader's style. And as you know, we're all different. We all have different personality types. We have different strengths and different background experience. And all of that blends to make who we are uniquely as a leader. And there can be two great leaders lead very differently. It's a matter of being authentic to your leadership style is what makes you great. So Rita, how would you describe your leadership style?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, I am very type A, and I'm organized, and I have all of my things together, but I feel like becoming an entrepreneur helped me to see that you don't have to be so buttoned up and take things so seriously. And when I'm speaking to someone, like video and audio are really where my personality seemed to shine the most. When So I feel like the type of leader that I am is just one that I try to be relatable, but very firm, because I do not sugarcoat things with my clients and or with my team. And so I try to, still be, uh, I don't want to say nice, but I'm, firm, but at the same time to, not be overbearing and have expectations that are too unattainable.
No, I absolutely get what you're saying, because I was just interviewed on a local TV program, and the interviewer is somebody who knows me, and she had commented on how kind I am. I am a kind person, and and she was talking about my coaching style, and I was like, yeah, I get it, because there are some coaches out there who are like, I'm going to kick your butt and I'm going to hold your feet to the fire, and there are people out there who want that in a coach. But here's the thing, and you can get it too, because you're probably attracting clients that are similar to your personality style as well. Being type A, we already beat the crap out of ourselves.
Right.
We don't need another person to do that for us, because we've got it covered, right? What we really need is, yes, we need someone to call out the truth, but do it in a compassionate way. So that we can do something with it. Otherwise it doesn't work. So I totally understand what you mean about, like, there's that balance between being nice, but also being truthful. But yes, you can do it, and it can be incredibly effective.
And I love what you said about kindness. I tell my boys now are 6 and 8, and I tell them that the most important thing that they could be in life is just to be kind.
Yeah.
I just want them to be kind and, to be, value, just good little boys.
That grow into great men.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
I wanted to take a minute here to talk about some of the features that FreshBooks has to help keep you organized and streamline the business side of being a freelancer or small business owner. If you have any questions whatsoever, FreshBooks' award-winning customer service is amazingly helpful, super friendly, and with zero attitude. Plus, a real live person usually answers in 3 rings or less. FreshBooks helps you avoid having that awkward talk with your client about past due payments. FreshBooks automates late payment email reminders so you can spend less time chasing payments and more time working your magic. It starts with invoicing, but actually FreshBooks has many features to help keep you organized and streamline the business side of business. FreshBooks is offering a 30-day unrestricted free trial to my listeners. To claim it, just go to freshbooks.com/lead and enter Women Taking the Lead in the How Did You Hear About Us section. Now, back to the interview. And Rita, what is one thing that you're working on right now that you're really excited about and you want to share with us?
Well, so I'm taking my little solopreneur shop and I'm actually transitioning it into a larger agency model. And I'm really excited about that because, as I mentioned earlier, I know how to manage products or projects really well. And so I'm just excited to actually grow my business and take it to the next level. And I understand it's going to be it's going to be very hard. There's a lot of struggles that come in with managing other people to help you with projects. But I feel very comfortable that it's going to go really well. And, I'm going to make sure that I find the right team members to really help with the process.
Mm-hmm. And if you're a good project manager, like in my mind, that translates to being a good team leader too, because to project manage, you have to have great organizational and communication skills. And that's what a lot of people are looking for when they become a part of a team.
Definitely. And, in my corporate background, I used to manage teams, so I'm really comfortable with it. And I'm just excited to see my business grow because I think in the past, when we talked about playing small, that was part of it too, is I felt like I couldn't move up to this bigger level, at that time. And now I feel completely comfortable with that. And I think a lot of that is because I feel like I know who I'm serving now. I know, where I'm going with my business is moving in the direction that I always wanted it to go.
Nice. And on the flip side of things, Rita, what is the biggest leadership or business challenge that you're faced with right now?
I think the biggest one is always finding the right people, and because we are, well, I'll speak for myself, because I'm a type A type of person, it's really hard for me to give up certain tasks until I feel like a person is super skilled in that area. And so sometimes I find it hard for me to let go of things so that I can trust somebody else to do it. And I think that that's a big struggle.
Yes, that is the type A struggle. It all comes down to control.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to be overly controlling, but I just want it done right. Do you think,
Well, you know what, that is what's at the heart of it, is because a lot of type A people are like, one of the qualities of being type A is you care so much, so deeply that it's hard to risk something. If you care very deeply about a client and the finished product that you are producing for that client, it is very difficult to trust other people to care as much as you do. Because let's face it, like, not that this is necessarily true, but it can be, we care in a way that we don't perceive other people as caring, right? Like if somebody says, well, it's no big deal, right? We're like, oh, what? And it might not,
everything.
Right. It might not overall, like if we were to take a step back, we could put it in perspective and say, well, maybe this isn't a big deal in the scheme of life, but under this microscope, this is very important. I can't believe you just said that. And immediately we lose trust in a person who would say something like that, even though from their perspective, they're not untrustworthy. They're just trying to gain some perspective on it. So, and that's where the control comes in, is because we don't want to give over control to anyone who cares any less than we do. They have to care as much for us to trust them. And it's hard to find that type of person. So, so now you're stuck between like, okay, do I give up some control and relax a little bit? Or do I continue to own everything?
Right.
That's a tough place to be.
And the only way that you're going to grow your business is really to let other people help you. Otherwise, you're going to stay in that first level.
Yep. Stuck there for a long time. Yep. Absolutely. Yes. It's a good challenge to have. All right, Rita, now I'm going to do a quick leadership roundup. So tell us, what is one practice you have that helps to make you a better leader?
Okay, something that I do every single day, regardless of what crazy madness is going on around me, is I will sit down and journal no matter what. And after I'm done journaling, it ranges the gamut of what it's about, so it's literally, I'll just free flow whatever's going on, how I'm feeling, certain challenges that I'm having, kind of talk my way around it and out of it so that I can see what is maybe a better solution. And then after the journaling is over, then I will do a whole page of affirmations. And another thing that I love to do is just go hiking or walking every day because, it can be very isolating working by yourself.
Yeah. What advice would you give your younger self?
Oh, I would tell myself to stop overthinking everything and stop trying to be perfect.
Now share with us a success quote or a mantra and why it has meaning for you.
My favorite mantra is "You are enough," because basically I feel that a lot of women, we try to be everything for everyone. And then when we make one mistake, how we mentioned earlier, we just take it to heart and then it changes the way that we feel about ourselves. And so one thing that I had to start doing was to think, you are enough. You can do this. You've got this. You are amazing. So that's when the whole affirmations come into play. But you are enough is really powerful for me. I have a client who created the enoughness revolution, and her stuff is just really inspiring to me because no matter through all the education that she sought out, all of the things that she accomplished, she still felt like she wasn't enough. And I think that all of us need to realize that we are.
And lastly, Rita, what is the best way for this community to connect with you?
I spend a lot of time on Instagram. I am really loving Instagram right now, and so they can just find me over there at Rita S. Morales. I also have a Facebook group. It's new and growing, but yeah, it's called Branding Your Business. So those are the two places that I spend the most time.
And for those of you who are out and about and on the run, you know you can find all the links and resources that Rita shared in this episode at womentakingthelead.com. And Rita, thank you so much for taking the time to inspire and enlighten us. We are all better for having met you.
Thank you so much for having me.
The working world has changed. With the growth of the internet, there's never been more opportunities for you to level up. If you're looking for ways to have a bigger impact, the Alt MBA could help you get there. Alt MBA is an intensive leadership and management workshop designed for changemakers who have a fire in the belly. This is for people who are itching to level up and make a bigger impact. The workshop splits you up into groups every week, so you're meeting a bunch of people you'd otherwise never meet. You're getting and giving feedback and seeing your blind spots in a whole new way. The curriculum is entirely hands-on. More than 75% of your time is dedicated to shipping your work, practical projects that allow you to apply what you've learned. So if you're tired of courses that you never finish or videos you've only bookmarked, then put those aside and check out the Alt MBA as a different way to level up. They are now accepting applications for their upcoming sessions. To find out more, visit altmba.com/women taking the lead. And for special consideration, you can mention this podcast in their application and tell them Jody Flynn sent you. Thank you all for joining me on Women Taking the Lead. And to strengthen you on your own leadership journey, I'd like to send you off with a quote from Marianne Williamson, so here goes. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Again, thank you for joining me, and here's to your success.